All right, we got a new plan. We have a backup, we hope. We actually purchased a 455 Pontiac, and I would bet it had to have been at least 25, almost 30 years ago when we bought this thing. So me and my brother, we went and got this 455 Pontiac that is right back there. Yeah, there went the lights. That is right back there. There's a 455 Pontiac sitting on a stand. We're gonna get it out here and we're gonna look at it, and we're gonna do an assessment on that one and see if it's gonna be viable for this project. All right, here is our backup plan. All right. So I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this, but you know what? It's all right. We might, hey, look at there. Put that rag over there. That might have saved that. Let's see what this looks like under here. Yeah, there's some stuff in there, but we can take vacuumer and vacuum that stuff out. All right, this is a 455 Pontiac. I can probably look at the codes and see what it actually fits in, or what year it was and stuff like that. But it's got the transfer leg right here, and it's got, you know, it's pretty complete. It was a points car, so it had points, so it's that old. Anyway, I think this is going to be where we're going to start. We're going to clean this up and just get it ready to go in that Trans Am. So we'll get started on that. All right, we're back out here with the Trans Am right now. So we bought this 455 about 30 years ago, and it's actually freed up. I mean, it will actually turn over, as you can see right here. So it's free. And since it's free, we're going to use it. So what we're going to do right now is, I went home, I got a cherry picker, I got a vacuum cleaner, engine stand, I got a bunch of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it up on the engine stand and get busy on it, cleaning it up. So we're going to have this thing ready for poverty tour before you know it. Oh yeah. Beautiful. I hang on to them because those are hard to come by nowadays. Alright, got it off. Nice. Alright, we're getting ready to take it off this stand for the first time in, I guess, 30 years. Shoot. Alright, roll her up. The chain is strong enough. Alright. Alright, let's put this thing on there. I'm glad I've already got it set up for a Pontiac. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Got to get past that angle. All right, there it is. Up on the stand. All right, let's get busy cleaning this thing up. don't have a half inch. See, half inch seems to be unobtainium for me. I got like a 13.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Got the old channel locks on there. Hopefully they'll hold it. Think we got it. But if it's not, we'll use the one off the Trans Am, the old dirt dauber carburetor. Alright, let's pop that dude off there. Oh, we got a line still hooked. Alright, so this Trans Am is going to live again, but what we're going to do right now is we're going to take all the accessories off of this motor. We're going to take the carburetor, we're going to take the alternator bracket, we're going to take everything off so that we can do a good cleaning on this thing. So let's get started doing that. Alright, I'm going to scrape around this valve cover so I can try to avoid getting as much dirt in this thing as I can. I would like to keep this engine pretty clean. Not bad.
Not terrible.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Dry, but that's not bad. All right, let me wipe it down a little bit, make sure nothing falls off in there, and I'll set that valve cover back on it, and we'll clean some other stuff. We'll get the other one off. All right, we got this rocker arm right here. Even though whenever you roll it over, it's still pretty loose as opposed to everything else. So I'm going to pop it out of there and make sure that we don't have like a bent push rod or something like that. If I can get that in there. There we go. Does not appear to be bent. That's not a good sign. Whenever you have a one rocker arm that will not seat and it's not overly wore, let's see if we can lock it down. The one thing about Pontiacs is they are just lock them down. So you just crank it down till it stops. Still way loose. Oh, we'll be changing some stuff on that. We'll change the rocker arm and a push rod and see what we can do with that. All right, I've got another rocker arm here and a push rod. So put that down in there. Another rocker. Let's try this again. If I can get that off there. Oh yeah.
Don't seem to be moving around.
There we go. All right, let's roll it over. That's it going down, right? That's it that just went. Yep. Okay. It tightens up now. Here we go. We might change out a few more. All right, fixed. Let's vacuum this before I pull it off. Ah, looks like a motor or an engine. Let's check all these out. All of them good on this side. All right, I'm going to turn it over. We're going to look at all the, watch all these lobes right here and see how they look. I believe the cam is fine in this thing. And all we're doing is watching the engine turn over. It has compression. It feels really, really good. Has no mechanical sounds like interference. All right. Nothing that a lifter pumping up won't fix. All right. We're going to time lapse and scrape this thing all down. Well, change of plans. We decided we're going to drain the oil out of this thing. So if we turn it over, it's not going to be like draining oil all over everything on us. So let's get that out of there. All right. See if this oil's any better than the other oil. It looks like oil. It's black, but it looks like oil. Much better than what we were dealing with. for the doubters, right there, it's a 455 Pontiac motor. All right, I'm looking here, I'm decoding this block, and this block right here is a YC. You can barely see it there. It's YC 455 with 4X heads. And a YC 455 with 4X heads comes out to be a 73 455, 215 to 250 horse. 215 with a 2-barrel, 250 with a 4-barrel. They did put 2 barrels on some of these in that year, in 73. Anyway, 8-to-1 compression. Ought to be a good one for poverty tour for sure. All right, even though I didn't want to, this bolt actually broke off. I've got a little cleaning done. I'm going to pop this water pump off real quick and see what it looks like. Hopefully I don't break any of these bolts. Come on. Got that one. That one came right out. I'm using the really weak gun to try to keep from tearing anything up. Not that this one can't break bolts, but it's got a better feel to it. Alright, just got this one right here. Maybe. Come on, baby. Got it. Wow. Now this one I've already had out, so I know it'll come out. And it's a good thing we took this off. That is disgusting. Disgusting. Oh wow. I don't even know if those sleeves are still any good right there. I hope I can save this timing cover. If I can't, I have another one, but or a few more, but you know, I'd like to save this one. Oh, back of the, I'm gonna have to put a new plate on it because that plate is gone right there. Because these take a plate that actually goes over that. See if I can show it to you. Because these Pontiacs have a plate, and that's the plate. And I'm gonna say this is the factory water pump. Got the cast iron impellers and stuff like that. So it's probably the factory water pump or one built a long time ago. Yep, good thing I did that. Real quick with this low power gun, I've got the, like I said, I've got the low power gun. I'm going to see if I can get these to loosen up a little bit. Hey, that popped right out of there. All right, let's see if this one loosens. Hey, that popped out too. Didn't break it. That's awesome. All right, those two came out just fine. I'll clean these up and I'll get these nuts off right here, but I'll have to like wire wheel those and get them all clean. I'll soak them and then I'll get those out. All right, since that bolt broke off right there flush with the block, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and I'm gonna take this bolt out right here, and I'm gonna try to get this timing cover off because we're gonna have to be able to get to the block here to fix this. So I've had this off already once. so it should just pop right off. I know you're supposed to be able to just pull them off, but this one's a little stiff. Come off there. All right, there we go. All right, let's see if we can get those bolts out. Again, I'm going to use my weakest impact on this. So let's see if these come out. Hey, that one's coming out. Got it. Let this one come out. Yep. All right. All I got to do now is get underneath and take the bolts out of the bottom there. There's actually some bolts. There's actually some bolts right up underneath here that I need to take out. I think there's 4 of them. All right, let's see if I can get these without flipping the engine over right now. Let's see here. 1, 2. Third one. Let's get to that last. All right, the timing cover should come off now. I know I don't have the right pry bar here with me today, but let's see if I can get this to break loose. Yep, got to break loose. Fell right off. All right. Oh, that's got a lot of slack in it. We got to change that. Those are metal gears, but man, that's got a lot of slack. I'm glad I pulled that off. We'll fix that. All right, there's a timing mark actually on this. See if I can find it. Where are you? There's a timing mark up here and a timing mark right here. And I'm thinking that if I can get both of these marks, look how much that moved. And the wow, that is crazy. Oh, that thing was nowhere near. I can tell you there's one thing I'm not going to be real happy about, and that's till I take it off and look. And that's, I want to look under this intake manifold. I want to look at that valley pan, make sure it's not rusted through in any place, and get it all cleaned up. So yeah, let's take it off. Stuck. I have to put that back in a little bit. Alright, it's loose there. It's loose there. Alright, let's ease this thing off of here. Oh wow. Yep, that's the reason we take it off, right there. We got a little mouse nest right down here, and we need to vacuum a lot of stuff out of there, so let's do that. not understand. I do not understand why I've got the gate open and everything, and they cannot seem to bring my stuff down here. Look at that. Sitting out here by the road again. All right, let's get it loaded up. Now I have tires for the car because the tires that are on that are uber old. And I can tell you right now, I don't think there's any other tire that you can put on a Trans Am other than a BF Goodrich Radial TA. So I got 4 BF Goodrich Radial TAs. The rear are 275/60/15 and the front are 255/60/15s. Plus, I got this box from Summit here. It should have some parts that we need for the 455. We got a hat. Yay, another hat. We got a magazine. We got some cool stickers. And then we got a timing set gasket, because if you remember, I said something about the timing chain is super loose on this. Then I got a gear set. So I got the timing set right here that we're going to put on. I got some, of course, Permatex to help keep these gaskets in place. And this box looks rough. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means it was somebody else got it, put it on, didn't like it, whatever. Okay, anyway. So here is the water pump for it. So this water pump is an aluminum water pump. It's a high flow. I can tell you right now that I like that. I love the impeller on it. Let me take it out of here. Alright, I love that impeller on it, cast iron. That's a good impeller because they've gone lately to the stamped steel stuff and everything. This aluminum housing, digging it. So yeah, we got our water pump for it. So anyway, let's get busy on that. Alright, in order to get this car set on top dead center, this is number 1 plug. I'm going to pull that one out. Not horrible. And we're going to set it on top dead center with a breaker bar. Coming up, coming up. I believe that's top dead center right there. This one's straight up. This one's straight up. I believe that's about it. Right there. All right, let's put a new timing chain on. Easy enough. All right. That off. Fuel pump eccentric. All right, now all we got to do is loosen this back up. Get that off of there and then slide all this off. Yeah, let's get right off there. Milwaukee, good stuff, guys. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
All right, we're still lined up, right? Straight up, straight up.
Yep, looks like it.
All right.
She's still too tight.
Should be about loose there.
Yeah.
As long as I don't turn anything. All right, got that off of there. I think that's it. All right, I think we got it. If I can do a little tappy tap and get it to kind of move here. I believe we're on. All right, straight up, straight up.
It's turning.
Is it turning or am I breaking it?
It looks like it's turning.
'Cause it sure feels like I'm breaking it.
I think it's turning. Yeah, it's turning. I think you got her.
Yeah, it's turning. All right. It is turning.
Yeah.
Heat, guys. Get you some heat. Yeah, it's coming. Come on, baby. Yeah. If I can keep from breaking it off from here, because boy, it's tied all the way to the end. Yeah, you want to leave your DNA on this block, grab hold of that. All right, it's out. Let's run a tap through it. Let's see if this is the right one. It kind of appeared to be, but yeah, I think that's it. If I can get that to tighten up now. Guys, if you don't have one, everybody needs to have one of those in your pocket. So Joey pulled his out just now too. He's got one too. Where'd you learn that, Joey?
You.
All right. That works just swimmingly.
But carry a pair of them too.
Oh yeah. Where's that stuff at? That spray. Spray a little dab in there. And we'll break that off in there. Never get that out. Knocked out the front seal out of this timing cover. So let's put another one in here. Thing moving?
I think so. Look like it did. There you go.
That appears to be it. Drive shaft.
Huh?
Drive shaft.
Well,
Alright, there's one of those seals. Alright, got the water or the pump seals in. Joey's putting on the fuel pump sensor. Alright, we got the timing cover on here. It comes with these fancy little plastic plugs right here that you can put in there that holds the gasket in place. Oil pan gasket. So we got that. We're going to put a little skim more of silicone around the outside of this, then we're going to slap the timing cover on it. Alright, timing cover. So what we're going to need is some bolts over there with some nuts on them. Yeah, I know they do. Goes there. Before we get too carried away, like I was getting. We actually had brand new gaskets for that, but you know what? We're not going to use them. So we found this old timing cover that had some old janky gaskets on it, and we're just going to kind of slap it on there, call it good. You got stuff still falling out of it? Oh well, it'll work. All right, it goes in there like so. Let's kind of get that on here if we can. Hopefully. Get a few bolts started here. Torque spec. That's a fine looking bolt. Fine looking bolt. My future self will be wishing I would have put NSCs on all this stuff, but for my now self, I don't care. So. Yeah. So we're staying in the spirit of duct tape drags and poverty tour. Alright, Guten tight. Alright, I'm going to put a little slickum on that gasket right there anyway. So, it don't look the best, but you know, it's good enough for who it's for. Alright, where is my, of course, every time I'm looking, here it is, right here. Look at that, top dead center, on zero right there. Perfect, man. I hate to admit this, but I'm going to admit something right now. Whenever I was younger and I would build these engines right here, every single time I would build one, it would be 180 degrees out on timing. Every single time. And I finally figured it out after 100 years, I guess. After 100 years, I finally figured it out. What it actually was the timing marks. They're supposed to be exactly, they're supposed to be opposite one. They're supposed to be top, top. I used to put them top, bottom. And top, bottom will put you 180 degrees out every single time. So every time we'd have to pull the distributor and redo it. Anyway, that's your tip for today. Behold, the 455 is back together. The one thing that looks blingy on it's this right here. Even those valve covers are just stock Trans Am valve covers. So, you know, nothing special about this. This garden variety stuff. But it's going to make it to Tucson, Arizona. Guaranteed. We're well underway to taking the engine out of here. We got the radiator out. So the little limpy 400 is coming out. So the 455 can go in. So we're going to take, right now we're working on the motor mounts, getting those loose. Alright, I've got a lifting plate right here that should be drilled and fit this, and I've got a bunch of grade 8 hardware that I actually bought a bolt bin at one of the auctions, and it has all this great grade 8 hardware that was in it. So let me see if I can figure out which way this wants to go. Probably right there is going to be the way it's going to line up. Now believe it or not, whenever we lift this, that is plenty. It'll hold it all. Those 4 grade 8 bolts will hold that whenever we lift all the motor and transmission and everything out of here. Alright, you can take this shifter knob off lever by putting a 30 shim feeler gauge right in here. There you go, got it out. All right, I got this out and I wanted to show you what's going on. So there's a detent right, there's actually a hole in it right there with a detent. And what happens is whenever you push that down in there, it locks in right there. And whenever I put that feeler gauge in there, it pushed it back and it allowed it to be removed. So anyway, that's all you have to do to take the Hurst shifter out of a 1977 Trans Am, or any of the Firebirds or Camaros or anything that happens to have this on the Super T10 transmission. Alright, the tires came in for this, and so I'm going to take them over here to a neighbor's and we're going to mount them up. Actually, I'm going to mount the first 2, and then I'll come back, take 2 off the front. You know, it'll be one of them deals. Anyway, so let me do that. Not that I don't trust these old tires right here, but yeah, I don't trust them. These tires were brand new, but they are so old. We have had this set of tires for at least 20 years. Do something about some other tires now. All right, these mufflers are in really good shape. I bought new mufflers at the auction the other day, but these are in great shape, so I don't have to put mufflers on here. I don't know why. No, that's a 7/16. What am I talking about? All right, Posi track. But it's not holding. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Did that break loose or did it just slip? No, it just slipped. Let me get something to hold these and I'll be right back. Milwaukee for the win, man. There's one. There's the other one. There we go. Alright, the drive shaft should just kind of pop out there. Let me get a little something to give it a little boost. There we go. Alright, the drive shaft is down. Alright, I was looking at this cross member in here, and it looks like it had one bolt, and you can see it right there, and it's loose, and that's the only one. There's like 4 places for bolts in this, and there's only one in here. So let me see if I can get that out of there. That's transmission cross member. I know you can't see much of this, but there is a nut on the top. See if I can get this wrench up here. That should be it. Come over there. There we go. All right, that cross member should be loose now. Got to take this bolt off right here, which it appears to be possibly 5/8. It's not a 9/16, I don't think. Nope, 5/8. All right, let me get that. I think I've got the right one here. Milwaukee stuff, it's awesome. All right, that's off. Might have to take that mount off the transmission. think I'll do that. There's a mount on the transmission right here. I think I have the tool right here to do it, maybe. There's one. There we go. Alright, I got them out. We should be able to, yeah, we can just take that out now. Alright. It gives us all kind of room now. Alright, there's the cross member. Out of there. Here, I need to take this cotter pin out right here, and I need to take this away from here so that I can pull that rod out. This rod I need to do away with. That's something like I don't even need that. And then I've got to take this out right here. So let me get started on that. Hopefully you can see some of that, what I'm doing here. All right. Oh, some of them, maybe some. Let me pull that out now. Alright, got that cotter key out. Should be able to remove this. Well, you would think. May have to push on this. Alright, go on out there. Alright, that's out. Alright, so that went in the bottom hole. Man, that's pretty wore right there on the end. It's still usable, but it's not the best. So it's supposed to be like a ball on the end of that, but I'll make do. All right, here comes my buddy in his Trans Am. He decided he would drive it. I built the engine in that car right there. So this is another one that I've done a lot of work on right here. Remember building the engine on this one a long time ago. Hey, Joey. Hey. All right, we have everything out. We've got all the clutch stuff out. Everything's taken out. I've just got to remove. See if I can get this off here. Come on, baby. A little tight. Boy, it's hot. All right, so I got that off. It's kind of boogered. Had a wrong nut on there or something. Anyway, yeah, I think we're ready to pull it out. I think we've got everything disconnected. So we're going to kind of pull it out in a kind of an unorthodox way, and we're going to show you how we're going to do that here in just a second. Okay, you're off the motor mounts. If you come up with a little bit more, come up a little bit if you can. Okay, all right. All right. Up. Hang on. Up. We got enough room up there?
Well, I curled the bucket on the way in to try to get past that right there.
Okay. Now, come backwards.
Go backwards?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try to be real easy. And just hang on to it.
Right, stop.
Do what?
Go out a little bit. Okay, hang on.
Hang on.
Take her down some. Take her down some. All right. Will that hit your door?
No, I don't think so.
All right, back up. All right, keep going. All right. Motor and transmission is out. So now we can, what we do now is we disconnect the transmission. We disconnect the transmission from the block, and then we start converting everything over onto that one right there. So anyway, let's get busy on that. All right. Get this transmission off of here. Ground of some sort. They're a lot easier to take out on the ground than they are sure enough in the car.
Ain't none on the bottom.
It's got 6. Should be one more. Here it comes. All right. He did paint that Chevy orange. Why'd he do that for?
So you'd remember him when we pulled it out. Got it. Good old Jerry, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing looks awesome.
Functional.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's where we are on this deal. We got the 455 here. We got the pulleys and things on it. We've got the exhaust manifolds mounted up on it. I've got a pilot bearing that is in the freezer. Here's our 4-speed transmission. I've got a new clutch and pressure plate for it. So we're going to get started on putting this back together. Let's put this flywheel on. Now this flywheel only goes one way, and I'm probably going to have to search for that way, and it's heavy. So Let's see here. Well, I hope it fits that. That might not fit. It won't fit. It won't fit that register. Dang it! Oh man. Oh, gonna have to get a flywheel.
Like good crankers?
No.
Huh? Got that one with the blower snout?
Yep.
Messed up?
Yep. Turn it over.
I don't want to turn it up.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah, good.
Keep going. That's the ones right there. See if we can get this on here. Maybe that's it. Yeah. All right. There we go. Revamped flywheel is on. We had this machine so it would fit this register right here. So that's what you do whenever you got to go on poverty tour. Alright, let's put that clutch and pressure plate on there. Alright, we decided to buy a new clutch and pressure plate for this thing, so I'm going to put that on. Now the pressure plate, it comes with a film on it as well, so I'm going to, quick off camera, I'm going to go ahead and degrease this real quick. I'm going to show you guys how this installs. So this is our new clutch, and I'm going to show you how this installs. That looks really nice. So it is flat, which is considered the flat side. And this is the non-flat side. The flat side goes toward the engine. So the first thing we do is put that, but we're going to put it in, mash it in here with this. Okay, see those two bolts right there? Put it in that one right there. You got it?
No, I've got it barely started.
Barely? Get that gun. Just make sure it's going the right way. Tap it in there a little bit. Okay, that's, yeah, that'll be. You're going to have to bring it out a little bit. That's enough. All right. Put this one in on top. Right there. Let's get it started. Okay, the next thing is we've got to do the alignment on this. So once you install that, you have to make sure that this is aligned. The clutch is aligned to the center of the pilot bearing that's in there, right there. So we've got it in the center, so now we can tighten up the pressure plate. That is the handiest tool ever right there. Now this should just slip right out. You can tell it's right because it just slips directly out. Alright, we're lined up. Invaluable right there, guys. Invaluable. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this bell housing on, and what we've got to do, what we have to do is we have to put this that clip right there, fits right there, fits on that ball. So we've got that. Now we've got a throwout bearing that we've got to put on here, if I can find it. And we put the throwout bearing in here. The throwout bearing goes like that, sorry. So the throwout bearing goes just like that. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull this out because we're going to put the bell housing on. So we've just got to make sure that lines up to the center of that. All right. Right here.
Yeah. It's just a double cheeseburger.
Hmm. We've got to get that transmission right through there and right into that pilot bearing right there. So, all right, let's get started. Let's see if we can marry this thing together. All right, what we got to do is we've got to put the shaft of this transmission through the throwout bearing all the way into the pilot bearing, and it all has to, and the splines have to match up too. So it's like splines, 2 bearings, 4 bolts. So let's see if we can get it in there. Okay, we gotta, there we go. All right, put some bolts in this thing. Just gotta go up right there. Now go up. You got it. You got more. Yes. Yeah. There you go. All right, let's look in here. Yep, it's in there. All right, throwout bearing is in place.
Look all right in there?
Yeah, it looks good. All right, let's put these on. I'm gonna have to get a wrench on them, or on that one. All right, I'm gonna put a wrench on it. Okay. All right, here we go. Put a little cheap pipe on. I'm glad the threads are good in that bell housing. All right, she is done.
Tie a tree to your dozer and you went forward and it fell somewhere.
The tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were taking the tree out to move
Oh,
it.
yeah, right over here.
Yeah. Did it hit the top of your the deal on the dozer? The roof?
I don't think so, not that time probably. I ain't saying it ain't never hit me. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, now y'all can probably put it in.
Get that cord bub out of the way underneath there. Okay, now we can come.
Yeah, you're getting close.
Yeah, backwards? Go
just,
back?
just a little bit, or we're gonna hit that shifter.
How much?
Now go down, Johnny.
Down?
Yeah,
How much can I go?
just a little bit.
Yeah, you can go down a little bit.
Tell me when.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna do.
Got your foot on it? Can I go down?
Yeah, you can go down and come
Well,
back.
just a hair. Not much.
You can come towards
Yeah,
the
you
firewall.
go. Okay, whoa, John. Let's go. Okay, John, we can go down now some more. Whoa, 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 whoa. You were right there now. Okay, Joe, what do we need?
We're good back here.
Okay, let's go in, Johnny.
Come in. Yeah.
Here, or are you letting it down?
Hang on. Let me see what happens if I let it down then.
That's it. Whoa.
Okay, wiggle it again, Joey.
What is this one like, John?
Well, falls right into it, or I'm gonna let it go fast.
Okay.
It fell down.
It might be in there.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, it looked like it dropped.
Yeah, it dropped that
It
time.
fell like it didn't hang up.
You know what the beauty of this is? The exhaust is already basically on.
Yep. Back up just a little.
That one's tight. They're in.
You had her tied, it didn't even move.
All right. There's the motor mounts. Whoa. All right, guys. We got a motor in here. All right. Push that in there just like so. All right. And then we'll go on to something else. All right, the next thing I'm going to tackle is I'm going to change out that distributor right there, because that is a points distributor and we're not going to use points in this vehicle. And I have an HEI distributor right here, and of course I have forgotten that I don't have the gasket. Oh, wait a minute. There's a gasket. All right, that's the homemade gasket. And I believe that will fit up on here. Yep. All right, we got a gasket for it. So let's put this in. Oh, I also need some good plug wires for that motor. And I happen to have this right here. This came from one of my auction buys. And it has some pretty good plug wires on it. So I think I'm going to rob all the plug wires off of this for that.
Oil dry. Get over the mountain of oil dry.
Right.
That good?
Yeah. All right, we're going to do the startup on it, or going to attempt to do the startup on it. Okay, hold it. Try again. Okay, hold it. Try again. We're real close. Try it again. Try it again. Woo! Woo! All right. Let's see what happens.
Ready?
Yeah. Try it again. Try it again.
Ready to go fill your water jug up?
Hey! Timing light on it.
All right, here we
Go
go.
ahead.
It's on 18 right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, right there. There, right there. Perfect. 14. That's good. Bring down now. Good.
Listen how quiet it got.
Yeah. Oh, it gets better every minute. Yeah. You can hardly hear it over here. No, it's because that hole's gonna block up. Your mother plugs just good good, man.
Our flex is good good. Well, there it is. The first few feet with the 455 in it. It's got the new tires on it and everything. Got to shake it down, make sure it's going to make it. But I think we're going to be good going to Poverty Tour. All right, this is the first actual drive. Windshield is really dirty, of course, from being sitting around for all these years. And we're going to get out here, and I'll bring you back out back and we get some kind of pavement. We're going to mile pavement. All right, we've got the pavement, and the car is running great. got some gas. Let's see how much better, if it's any better. Right now it's running all right. All right, we made it home. So here it is. It made it just fine. Need to idle up the carburetor a little bit. That's about it. But yeah, the 1977 Trans Am with the 455 transplant from an old engine that I bought many years ago is alive and well. Got me home just fine. And yeah, life's good. So 4-speed Trans Am. So anyway, guys, if you like this little video of me resurrecting this Trans Am, getting ready for Poverty Tour, and we're going to head out. Actually, we leave in 2 days. So if you like this type of video, then like, comment, subscribe, and we'll continue to bring more content in the future as available. And as always, everybody, God bless. Wow, she's back.